Okay, so I've been kind of busy with this week, although I still have a lot of work to do. My main goal this week was to get it into cinema. Now, when I took the setup I had last week, problem I ran into was it was not resetting at the end. So when I took the Alembic, and we're going to go through how that works, I'd still have this kind of a mess that you're seeing here on the screen when I when at the beginning of the video. So I changed strategies, and let me make this a little bigger. What I ended up doing is putting the second, let's bring this up. Okay. Why not? Oh. No. Oh, it's cooking. Okay. So what's going on here is I added a second RDB solver, and I take the output from the first, and then I take something to tell it to enable the solver at, I think it's frame 121. And then the constraint network, see if I could escape this. What is it doing? Oh, it just looks like it's trying to cook the first frame. Well, anyway, for this constraint network, what I did is I created a separate set of constraints and passed that in as the third, let's see if we're not seeing it. Yeah, I have to work on also, this is very slow, but I passed that in as another input to this dot network here. And what ended up, so this way, this I knew now was getting the right input. It was directly connected, and it did provide the result that I wanted. Let's see if I can get this to escape. Yeah, it's going to escape. And now we don't see anything. Let's go up to Geo 3, and you're not going to see, what? This .NET, you probably won't see anything because it has to cook. But let me show you this. What happens is, I took this part, this constraint here, and I put it over here, and I made it the third input to this .NET. And let's see, let me show you. So we had our normal input here. We got to a second rigid body solver here, and I'm setting the, so let's see what we got. Oh no, it would be here in the constraint. Let's go up one. Right, so it takes the third contact geometry. Remember, the contact geometry is the first input. They call it contact geometry. It's really the third input, okay? And then I, just had it, I have my glue constraint. Now the problem, one of the problems remaining is this constraint network and the fracturing actually is so similar that it really doesn't change a whole lot. So that's one thing I have to work with. Now, one thing I did do, and this is why you can see it, is I cache this out. And the way this works is you cache it out. I don't want to bypass this. You cache this note. Make it bigger. There. Now I keep hitting the wrong thing. So what happens is you cache it out, and then what you can do is you can take a file here and takes that channel as the input, and then the alembic takes this directly, and then you can render that out. So now you have an alembic. Now let's go to Cinema. And what I did is I brought in the alembic. I also brought in the VBD. So this is the volume loader here. I created a volume. Now the thing with the volume, let me see if I can get it to, oh, I always forget how to get it to, here we go, node editor. I created this volume here. Now, the volume, of course, you need your density and your temperature. And when you go to advanced, you kind of have to, I played with these, and I'll probably get more knowledge about what these should be set at. You could probably check, probably the best thing is check the ranges in Houdini, and that'll give you a clue as to what these numbers should be. But I played around with them and got something going. It looks like it is. Let's see if I can get it to go all the way back to see what happens when I play it, if it's going to play it quickly. There, it kind of, and I'm not sure what will. You're not really seeing much of the volume, but when I show you the, let's stop this right here. Actually, I'm going to stop it earlier. I'm going to go back to this frame here. And this is 26, by the way, which is, like I said, I am still trying to get this to getting used to this. So redshift, and we're getting, let's turn this off. And yeah, the light was a little too strong. So I'm playing with trying to get the HDRIs, an HDRI there. And now you can see the fire and the smoke and so forth, and the destruction. Like I said, I still have to work on it. There's a lot of work to be done on the destruction, what I was able to do is get a render out that not too bad. Like I said, once I get the second wave of destruction working better. But again, now one thing to be aware of, this is just a typical Redshift material. I have not put Octane back on here yet, because basically when you install the new version of of Cinema, when it goes a full number, so we're going from 25 to 26, and you have to reinstall all your plugins. So that's something I'm going to be doing. I did reinstall the Grayscale Gorilla, and trying to get that going, and their Plus library and all the stuff that, because I really like their HDRI link. I use that quite a bit. But when this comes in, the Alembic, which is in Geo, is right here, this one, here. Let's turn the volume loader off for a second so you can see. This is the Alembic that I put a very simple material on. Obviously, some more things to do here is obviously be able to texture the windows to look a little different. I mean, to look like windows and not just, indentations. But this comes in with all the animation. And yeah, this IPR is not being real happy. So let's go back to I want to not see this. So let's see if so this is something I thought this was gonna be a separate window. Like I said, I'm still trying to get my hands around 26 here. China, bucket mode. There, that turned it off. So I'm still trying to get my hands around this, but the animation is baked in when you do the Alembic. Now, one thing I may want to do is separate out the building, in air quotes, from the ground, and so they come in as separate items. But so I did accomplish my goal of bringing everything into Cinema 4D. Once you have an Alembic, you can also bring it easily into Nuke, and Nuke will be happy with that. But let me recap some of the important points. Point number one is I had to put the solvers serially in the DOPNet because otherwise it didn't work. Merging them, it led to that issue where you have the destroyed showing up on the first frame. So that's one key thing. The second key thing, of course, is caching. Caching will make your life a lot easier. You do, as one of the tutorials, the tutorial I was watching, one of the tutorials I was watching talked about, you have to be careful with the caching in that you don't want to, if you change something, you want to make sure everything is properly cached. So that's something to be very much aware of when you've got anything complicated, because if you look at this here, this is taking out what I'm doing here to bring this into the DOPNet is I'm not bringing it in from here. I'm bringing it in, I cache it, and I bring that is what is going into the DOPNet, and that makes things faster. The other thing I have to do to make it faster is a lot of times you're passing things along that you do not need to. Another thing is, I think it's a divide node that will when you're dealing with the geometry, make sure you don't have that everything is nice and no weird shapes, no triad, anything like that. So that's the kinds of stuff that you have to think about, and we're going to be doing that in coming weeks. But again, the other thing I want to do is change this, see what I can do here, or with the with this fracturing on the second set of fracturing to get it to, you know, do some different things when it goes to the second explosion. Right now, it's not doing a whole lot. Let me see. So here, I'm trying to see where I do the, yeah, here's where I do the Boolean. That comes in from here, where I do the Buoyant Fracture, and I do another fracture here. So I am doing the Buoyant Fracture, and this is merging in right here. This is merging in the result of the first destruction, which, where is that? That, I believe, is in the .NET. Yeah, right here. Now, this should probably also be cached out. That will make that faster as well. So, a lot of progress, a lot more work to do to get this how I want it. And the good thing is, you can take what you learn, what's done here, and apply it. You know, have several buildings that we do this to. So hopefully this has been helpful, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.